what are some things that you see that tweens are doing wrong when
Yeah.
picking their skincare, and how can parents help?
Patients will come in and they'll show me a product they're using, and I say, well, why do you want to use this? And they'll tell me, I love this twist top, or I
Mm-hmm.
love this color on my shelf when I take a
Yes.
video. And it's not necessarily the ingredients inside.
Remember, not the way I do. It's getting late September, and I still think about you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Sensitive Conversations with Cetaphil. I'm Callie. This episode today, I feel like we have a lot of tweens that watch our podcast and a lot of parents that watch it too. And so, a common, I think, misconception out there in the universe is what tweens should actually be using on their skin. So, we're debunking some myths today and going into the ins and outs on what tweens should be using, what they shouldn't. And calling in our board certified dermatologist, we have Dr. Fatima Fahs with us here today.
Hi.
Super excited. Fatima, welcome
Thank
to the
you.
podcast.
I'm so excited. This is a topic that I really think we need to spend some time on, do a little deep dive, and hopefully help some parents and tweens out when it comes to getting a good routine together.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're a mom, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How many kids do you have?
I have 3, and my oldest is 8, so we're like approaching the tween
it.
era. She's definitely showing some interest in skincare.
As she should, with the mom who's a derm. Makes total sense.
Yeah, so it's been an interesting process so far to navigate, just trying to help her build some healthy habits, but also make sure it's safe for her skin.
Yeah. Does she ever play around with the stuff in your sink, or
Oh
she's
my
like
gosh,
not?
she loves to unbox all the things I get,
Oh, that's
and
fun. Who does
is
it?
very tempted to steal stuff off of my counter. But I've made her own section of her own products that are safe for her skin, so
Love it.
she's feeling like an empowered skincare queen now.
Love it. I absolutely love it. Oftentimes on the podcast, we try to get to know our derms.
Yeah.
And I feel like a common one we ask that I actually find is so fun is asking what you would be if you weren't a derm.
Ooh, this is easy for me. So I would totally be an artist.
Really?
Yes,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
I did an art minor in college. I actually almost went to art school, and just with life experiences and such, I decided I really wanted to go the medical route. But I think that's why derm is like my field. There's a little bit of art and a
Yes.
little bit of medicine,
There-
and the two together, it meshes well. So
There absolutely
100%.
is.
Yeah.
So what kind of art?
Like fine art, I really love painting,
Really?
acrylic painting. Yeah, I used to do a ton of that. I had to get rid of my painting studio when I had kids, so sacrifices as a mom. But
Yeah.
maybe someday it'll come back for me.
Oh my gosh, that is
Yeah.
so cool. Okay, so if anyone's gonna touch my face, it's definitely gonna be you
It's an
with
artist. It's a
injectable
role.
aesthetics,
Yeah.
because it's true. Like, and even aside from the aesthetics, derm is such a visual field. We've talked about
Absolutely.
this on the podcast as
Yeah.
well, where it's one of the only specialties that you diagnose by looking at something. So you
Yeah.
really do have to have that eye.
Definitely. You have to
Um,
be able to differentiate between small, subtle changes,
Right.
colors, hues. So some of that art training actually has come
I'm
into play in my
sure.
life. So
I'm
yeah.
sure. Did
Yeah.
you always, like, when you went to medical school, did you know you wanted to match derm off the bat, or?
No, no.
Okay.
I thought I was gonna do OB actually.
Really?
And yeah, I was like all about women's empowerment, save the
Yes,
women
love.
in the world.
Yes.
And then I actually went on the OB floor, and I was terrified. I was like, get me out of here. So
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Not for
I
me,
mean,
but I respect my OB colleagues who are able to do that.
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. No, I have a friend, she it was the same thing. She was wanting to go the OB/GYN route, and then last minute she's like, actually, I think
Yeah.
derm is the place. So I guess it
Well,
worked out.
I've had a lot of fun in my career thus far, and it's been really rewarding. So can't complain. It's worked out.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So, getting into today's topic.
Yeah.
So, tweens and skincare. You mentioned your daughter.
Yeah.
She's kind of getting into some things, and you made her own little section for skincare
Yeah.
that you know is safe for her.
Yeah.
Maybe talk about what that looks like and things that you look for.
Yeah, I have parents who will, drag in their kids into the office with their products, and they want me to tell them, no to all the things. And I think it's more of a mindset shift. As a parent, you want to promote healthy habits for your child, and skincare is health care for your child, right? It's not a
Absolutely.
beauty thing. So, if anything, I don't agree with the idea that we shouldn't be telling tweens to be using skincare. If anything, it's your chance to build a healthy habit from the get go and something that they could potentially carry with them for the rest of their lives. So, when it comes to easy habits like wearing sunscreen every day, I'll have patients in their 60s who've never done that. And it's a hard habit to suddenly build as a 60-year-old.
Yeah.
But as a tween, getting sunscreen into a morning routine and just kind of making it almost innate for them builds them up for that healthy habit down the road. And we know skin cancer is the most common cancer in the US and preventable, and definitely sunscreen plays a role in that. So I encourage parents to allow their tween to have skincare. We just
Yeah.
need to help them find the right
That's
stuff.
that's such a good perspective because I do think that because skincare is often looped in with the beauty industry,
Yes.
that people see it as just, oh, you want your skin to look good because it's what people see and
Right.
it's a visual aesthetic thing.
Yeah.
And the truth is, you're right. The
Yeah.
skin's the largest organ on your
Mhm.
body. So it's not, yes, people see it. And it's, the
Yeah.
first thing people see when they meet you is they're
Right.
looking at your face, your skin, etc. But you're right. Skin health is, I mean,
Yeah, it's part of your regular
it's
health.
part of your
So
regular health.
I think it's so awesome that there's this movement for tween skincare because we can make small, subtle changes that can really impact their health and their skin in the long run. So I'm all for it.
Absolutely. So, what are some things that you see that tweens are doing wrong when
Yeah.
picking their skincare, and how can parents help?
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, we have to remember, tweens are doing their best and they're also following what they see on social media. And sometimes brands take advantage of this. They create beautiful, colorful
Mhm.
packaging that looks appealing to a child or a young
Mhm.
adult. And so patients will come in and they'll show me a product they're using. And I say, well, why do you want to use this? And they'll tell me, I love this twist top, or I
Mhm.
love this color on my shelf when I take a
Yes.
video. And it's not necessarily the ingredients inside.
Mhm.
So, as a parent, you just have to be watching what the products are that your tween is bringing home because you might, at first glance, say, oh, wow, colorful packaging. It's
Mhm.
probably for a child or a young adult. And in fact, it'll have really strong ingredients, acids, retinols. These
Mm.
are ingredients that are just inappropriate for their
Yeah.
skin and their skin barrier and can do more harm than good. So, we just
That's
have to
so
be careful with what we
crazy.
let them
Yeah, that's so
use.
crazy to even imagine a tween using
Yeah,
any sort of anti-aging
right.
products at such a young age. Do
Yeah.
you find that to be common?
I think there's definitely a pressure to have a multi step routine. And
Mhm.
so when it comes to adding in serums and layering products, inevitably you have them mixing something that they shouldn't be or reaching for a product because it looks cool to apply
Mhm.
and it's just inappropriate for their age. So when it
Mhm.
comes to a routine, this is what you need to know as a tween or as a parent. You need three essentials in my opinion: a cleanser,
Mhm.
a moisturizer, and a sunscreen. And doing that alone will be super good for their skin, but also not harmful and not doing too much to their delicate skin barrier.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, for parents or maybe tweens at home watching this, when do you think it's time for them to see a dermatologist
Mhm.
versus just kind of using, you know,
Yeah.
basic skincare at home? They're probably, they're listening to this, they're taking the right
Yeah.
steps. But when is it time to then pivot and say, okay, it's time to see a derm. We need,
Yeah.
we need.
Well, I think it's helpful to remind everybody that acne is the first sign of puberty, right? So when we're seeing acne prone skin in tweens, that is a sign that they're entering puberty. Those androgens, those male hormones like testosterone, they rev up, they interact with the oil gland, they make the oil gland produce more oil or sebum, and that increased oil production is part of the acne cascade. So we expect a little bit of acne in your puberty years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that it's abnormal or that they're doing something wrong. It's in fact biology.
Right.
So using skincare products that are both gentle but acne fighting, like Cetaphil's line, can be really helpful because you'll get the benefits of acne fighting ingredients, whether it's salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide, but they'll still be formulated in a way that's gentle and safe for their skin.
Yes, for sure.
If using over-the-counter products isn't cutting it, or you're starting to see a lot of acne or even some acne scarring, then it's probably time to work with a dermatologist. But part of my job is actually building a routine that includes over-the-counter products as well as prescriptions that I
Mm-hmm.
pair with them to help a tween or teen control their acne, but also feel empowered that they can do it on their own
Right.
on a daily basis.
Right. You mentioned benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid. Um, what, for people that are watching,
Yeah.
what would you recommend they start with, or which
Yeah.
active ingredient should they go to? Can
Yeah.
you talk kind of through that
Yeah.
and signs to look for to say, okay, maybe
Totally.
I should be picking up a gentle
Yeah.
benzoyl peroxide wash or a gentle salicylic acid wash?
So, salicylic acid is a beta hydroxy acid. It is oil loving. So, what does it work well for? If you have blackheads and whiteheads, then salicylic acid is going to dive deep into that pore and almost dissolve that oil and buildup and dirt to clear out that pore a little easier. So, salicylic acid is great for somebody with more bumpy skin, blackheads, whiteheads, and it can be found in things like Cetaphil's gentle acne wash. And then benzoyl peroxide is acne fighting in that it reduces acne causing bacteria. So it's good for more inflammatory or red acne. And the way it works is it reduces that acne causing bacteria on the skin and it also reduces inflammation. But there's a downside to benzoyl peroxide. So not all formulations are great. And in fact, sometimes it can be really irritating. So if you have somebody like a tween who's looking to use a product with benzoyl peroxide, I do like formulations that contain a micronized benzoyl peroxide. So this means the particle, the benzoyl peroxide is tinier so that it can go deeper down into the skin where it needs to do its work and not cause upfront irritation on the top layer of skin.
Yep.
So looking for micronized formulations of benzoyl peroxide can be helpful too.
Yeah. Cetaphil's gentle exfoliating, or sorry,
I think I know.
Cetaphil-
I'm trying to remember the
gentle
name of it. Is it-
clear. I think it's the gentle clear, right? Gentle
Yeah.
clear. Cetaphil's. Okay, so I'll say. So Cetaphil's gentle clear benzoyl peroxide wash is micronized.
Yes.
Which is great. I've used that product before too, and
Mhm.
it's wonderful because I feel like benzoyl peroxide, because it is, God bless. What am I trying to say? It's like a
I think
harsh
you're trying to say
ingredient.
that it's intense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So say I've used other formulations of benzoyl peroxide that left my skin feeling really
Yeah.
irritated.
Yeah. Because I've used other forms of benzoyl peroxide before, other products will say that have a stronger percentage and it's
Mhm.
not micronized. And it sometimes would leave my skin feeling tight or irritated, which,
Yeah.
of course, once that happens, then
Yeah.
you
You've irritated
start
that
using
skin
it.
barrier.
Exactly. And then you just kind of are back to square one
Yeah.
and can't really treat the
Where I
the
actually
product.
love benzoyl peroxide too is for tweens who are in sports and activities.
Yeah.
So if you have a tween who's doing, football, wearing like helmets and pads and getting a lot of sweat, after sports and activities is a good time to pop into the shower. And I'll tell my patients, grab your wash, take it into the shower with you, go ahead and put it onto the face, onto the chest, onto the back, and then step away from the water and wait a few minutes. Let it just kind of sit and do its thing, reduce that acne causing bacteria. And now all that sweat that you've accumulated from, your practice, for example, and then rinse off really well and you're good to go. So that's a really easy thing to incorporate into a tween's routine, even just for post practice, washing and care.
Yeah. One thing I find to be really common in tweens are those pimple patches.
Yes,
What do you
yeah.
think about those?
Okay, so I think they can be really great. So Cetaphil just launched a new one and it's good for early or emerging pimples. So when it's not fully up at that roof and you like want to pop it, but you need to do something, it actually contains salicylic acid. So we know that
Yep.
that's going to help with dissolving some of that oil. And then it also contains soothing ingredients. So it has cica or Centella asiatica in it and heart leaf extract. So both of those are going to calm the acne from even
Got it.
emerging or help it at least heal a lot quicker. And the best part is it's covering your
Right.
fingers from touching it. And so for most of us, and myself included, I'm very guilty of doing this sometimes.
So I'm the
Everybody
worst.
picks at a
Yep.
pimple. And if you just can't help yourself, this is a great way to stop yourself, especially with an early pimple and manipulating it and making it worse, just from keeping your hands off of it. So
Yeah.
they can be great morning or night. Just pop it on and it will help it heal up a little quicker, as well as keep your hands off of it.
I love it. I love it. So, are there any other over the counter acne fighting ingredients or products that
Yeah.
tweens can be on the lookout for, parents?
Yeah, so in general, we'll tell parents, like, don't let your kid use like those retinols that are, marketed for wrinkles and anti-aging, but there is a retinol over the counter. So adapalene is actually a vitamin A derivative or a retinoid, and it used to be prescription only, but in 2016 it was approved for over-the-counter use, and it's FDA approved for acne. So it can be really great for a tween who's looking to just use something in their routine more for preventative purposes, but also to help with things like skin texture or tone. The biggest thing with adapalene, which you can find in different gel actually, is that you just want to start slow. So it's something you're using to the whole face, and you don't want to use it too frequently in the beginning because it does help with some of that skin cell turnover for our clogged pores. So incorporating it into a nighttime routine can be super helpful actually for acne and acne prevention.
The other good thing about Differin or adapalene gel is it's light stable, right? So a lot of other retinoids, for those of you watching, you might not be super familiar with this, but you can only use them at night because when the light hits, like when it interacts with light, it becomes inactive. Is that correct? Do you have that right?
Or unstable.
Unstable,
So
right.
adapalene is stable for morning or night use. I definitely prefer nighttime in general because I find, you're sleeping, you're resting, you don't have to worry about things like sweating excessively or doing other activities that may remove it off the skin, but you can absolutely use it in the daytime. So also if that's a more convenient time for your tween to actually be doing a routine, then that can be helpful
Yeah.
too.
We did an episode recently, and I had no idea about this until I had interviewed her, Dr. Elise Love. She's talking about how your nighttime routine, you kind of get the most benefit because your skin,
It's in repair
it's
mode.
in
Yeah.
repair mode,
Yeah.
and so you, I guess, absorb more of the
Yes.
ingredients. You get more of the full effects. So
Yeah.
I makes sense why nighttime would be preferred,
Yeah.
anyways. Even more, above just like sweating and that kind of
Yep,
stuff that can kind
exactly.
of take
Yeah.
take the product off. So, how do you feel social media has changed the landscape for tweens? I feel like there's so much information that they're consuming, and then there's also just, I feel like, unrealistic expectations
Yeah.
on what people should look like and all of that. So,
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that.
I think, we know, social media can be amazing and powerful, but it can also be super harmful. So setting expectations for a tween of what normal skin looks like, what pores look like, that acne is a normal part of puberty and it is to be expected. I think that too, when you are constantly consuming content that involves multi-step routines or elaborate routines, you can feel like you're missing out. So ways that I help my daughter make sure that her routine is enough for her and it's perfect for her age is making it special. So I've made her a little skincare corner, like she has her own little stand.
So cute. I love
Yeah,
that.
I've gotten her like a cute little like skincare headband.
Love.
And she has her products that I approve for her skin, but it does become ritualistic for her and something she enjoys. So she can still get the excitement out of it, but not the harmful effects of having such an elaborate routine for that age and something that's inappropriate for them.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is just normalizing what normal skin looks like. We are in an era where everybody filters everything. And I'm happy to know when people disclose filters, or now that a lot of
Right.
social
Yeah.
media apps have shown that an image is filtered, because it really does play with your mind on what is normal and what's not. And I
Yeah.
really try to normalize for my patients in the office that I'm acne prone and, I have to use products to keep my acne under control. And so it's important for us to talk and have those types of conversations to normalize this process.
Right. I think the psychosocial impact acne has, especially on
Yeah.
that younger generation. I mean, when you're in middle school, high school, your appearance
Mm-hmm. It's
is
everything.
everything. Like,
Yeah.
it takes such an toll on you
Mm-hmm.
emotionally. I look back to whenever I was a teenager and I
Aw.
was like, I had really bad acne, and I feel like the world, like, it was just
Yeah.
because you feel like everyone's staring at you, everyone's
Yeah.
watching at you, which, by the way, not the case. Like you said, this is
Yeah.
something everyone struggles with. Like, I'm sure
Yeah.
you see how many patients that come in every single day
Oh
that
my
are in
gosh,
that
number
age
one
range that are
concern. Yeah.
struggling with the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
you're not alone. Just
Mm-hmm.
because you're seeing someone on social media that has, you know,
Yeah.
that airbrushed skin
Yeah.
doesn't mean that they even have that
Right.
skin in real life.
Part of my job too is helping to empower a patient to take care of their skin on their own. So even if we're incorporating products and prescriptions that I think are necessary, I actually love writing out a routine that's also going to be something that my patient is involved with. For example, choosing, the right cleanser or the right moisturizer or what type of sunscreen might be
Mm-hmm.
suitable for them so that it does become enjoyable to do those steps, even if you need the help of a dermatologist and
Mm-hmm.
some prescription products along the way.
Yeah.
So I hope too that if someone's watching this that is struggling with acne and it has been something that's out of their control at this point, they've tried things over the counter, that they feel empowered to go in and see a dermatologist for some additional help because that's what we're there for. We
I
love
love it.
this.
I love
Yeah.
it. So you mentioned just now kind of that routine
Yeah.
that you often recommend to your patients, even as a
Yeah.
starting point. Let's just like bring it back to the basis,
Yes,
or
let's
the
do
basics
it.
rather. Let's bring it back to the basics.
Yeah.
For anyone watching, whether you're a tween or you're a parent, what do you
Yeah.
recommend they kind of start with,
Yeah.
and the routine that they should be using every day that's healthy and will actually make a difference and not harm their skin?
Yeah. So I would say like the three important products for sure would be cleanser, moisturizer, and sunscreen.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to a morning routine, picking a cleanser that would be suitable, you'd either want to go with a gentle cleanser, maybe if you're on the drier or more sensitive side, or you can choose the gentle clear line from Cetaphil if you need something with a little more acne fighting ingredients like salicylic acid
Mm-hmm.
or benzoyl peroxide. So start with a cleanser, dab your face off, and then choose a moisturizer and a sunscreen. Now, the nice thing is Cetaphil also has moisturizing sunscreen, so you can kind of combine the steps. Of
Two for
course, you
one.
can separate them, but I
Mm-hmm.
love the ability to combine, especially if you don't really want to do a morning routine, but you want to get the essentials in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sunscreen every single day is a habit to build. And like we chatted about in the beginning, I think encouraging a daily sunscreen habit sets them up for the rest of their life when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to skin health,
Yeah.
because we know daily sunscreen can reduce your risk of skin cancer, but also improve your skin conditions, whether it's hyperpigmentation, whether it's protecting your collagen as you get older and you
Mm-hmm.
start to age or feel like you're noticing fine lines and wrinkles, improve pigmentation, all of the benefits that are to come that maybe they're not experiencing right now, but you've built
Right.
that habit and made it so innate for them.
I love that because I do think as kids, myself included, you think you're invincible
Hmm.
and you don't think about the
Yeah.
long term stuff. I know for me, when I was a teenager or a tweenager, I grew up in Florida and I just wanted to tan because I
Yes.
that was like all I'm gonna do. I want to put baby oil on and tan out in
I
the
know.
sun. How do you get kids or tweens to start
Yeah.
caring about that? Because I feel like when you're younger,
Yeah.
again, it's just not something you think about. You don't think about
Yeah.
aging really, you don't think about
Right.
that kind of
I
stuff.
don't
So,
even lead with the aging because honestly, it's not something they're interested in
no,
hearing
they're
about.
not
But if you know that tanning your skin is going to make your acne scars worse
worse.
or darker, then you might feel more motivated to avoid doing that or wearing the
Absolutely.
sunscreen. And we know that sunscreen alone can improve things like pigmentation of the skin, evening the skin tone,
Hmm.
and part of the struggle with acne is not just the acne, but the dark marks that are left over after and
Right.
clearing them up quicker. So I tend to try to motivate my patients from something that's more relatable for them.
Yeah.
They're not really thinking about wrinkles and
Right.
leathery skin and all the damage to come.
Hmm.
They're more so worried about how they look in the moment. And
Right.
so a daily sunscreen can be super helpful for preventing that pigmentation or making it worse so that if you do get an occasional acne bump, you know exactly how to take care of
Right.
it.
Exactly. I love it.
Yeah. PM wise, cleanse and moisturize. So again, just taking off the dirt, oil, sunscreen, impurities you've kind of gathered from the day, and then healing your skin and allowing it to repair overnight with a moisturizer. Where you can kind of soup up your routine is inserting between your cleanse step and your moisturizing step some adapalene or different gel, especially if you are more acne prone. So taking a little pea-sized amount of that and putting it to the whole face can help with acne, but also reduce the acne from coming.
I love it. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's
Easy
great
peasy.
advice.
Mhm.
So, for those of you watching, if you're in that 12, 13 age range, remember keep it simple, keep it safe. If you're a parent, remind your kids that skincare is really about health. It's not about beauty and appearance, even though it certainly, can play a role. It's not what this is about. It's all about skin health. It's
Yeah.
all about instilling healthy habits. Thank you, Dr. Foss, so much
Thank you.
for coming on the podcast.
I appreciate it.
For anyone watching, where can they find you on social media?
You can find me on social media at DermyDoctor, both on Instagram and on TikTok, or you can come visit me in the clinic in my new practice, DermyDoc Institute in Southfield, Michigan.
Amazing. And her practice is lovely, by the way.
Aw, thank
Beautiful,
you.
beautiful. For those of you watching, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below what you would like us to ask our next board certified dermatologist. So we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Remember, not the way I do. It's getting late September, and I still think about you.